I guess blessed do you feel to be doing this twice in 6 years?
Man, it's definitely a blessing because it took me 8 to get to the first one. So just trying to enjoy these last 2 weeks of the season and trying to put my best foot forward like we've been doing and just trying to get the win.
Was there ever a point where you wondered if you ever get to one?
I always believed I would get to one, but two now, man. I knew I talked about it last year going into this year saying, man, we coming back strong next year. We doing all this because I was hurt and just put the work in, every day, one day at a time. And then when I seen the off-season moves, I was like, oh, man, we got us some stuff. And then training camp was really good. And man, all it was our consistency to just want to be better every day. And it's been working. And Coach definitely led the way.
What makes this one? How do you think you guys got from where you were at the end of that 2020 season to now?
Well, you know what? Getting into the playoffs, the postseason, that was the first step of it because a lot of guys, finish the season strong, and that's how you want to finish. You want to get hot at the right time, but then, you go against Brady. They who we lost to earlier. It was a closer game than before, but I know that it was just the first year with Jalen as a starter. For him going into the offseason, knowing that he was the guy with a new coach. And now I feel like going into the second year, it was just the people that Howie and those guys brought in. And then Jalen had a second year with the coach. And then, I feel like JG was a great hire for us last year. And, we didn't have to spend a lot of time on a lot of things that the first year that you have to spend a lot of time on.
When did Nick win you over?
You know what? He won me over when he first got here because it was cool because that press conference he had that he, did all the stuff, said all the wrong things where y'all got on him. I just felt like he came into here and gave us his honest answer on how he felt about it. He was pissed about it, and I love that because, a lot of coaches wouldn't admit to, sometimes when the media get under their skin and, it was just cool. It was just down to earth. Cool guy. He had a good report coming in from a lot of guys that was there with the coach that I talked to, and they said you got you a good one. Hopefully, him being the head coach don't change him, and from what I seen, it didn't change him, and so that's when he won me over, man. Just coming in, being real about how he feels. But I know, sometimes you can wear your emotions on your sleeve, which he does. But I think he does a great job of owning it and moving on too.
What do you remember about this trip to the Super Bowl special in a different way from the last one?
I'm in year 13. We finally got double digits this year. I'm contributing to help the team as much as I can. So, this has been the best for me because it's just, who would have thought in year 13 I would still be here after we won the Super Bowl that first time, and then how things went last year with me tearing my Achilles, and now coming off the Achilles and having one of my best years, and I'm not even playing half the snaps that I ever played. That I've been playing in previous. So I would just say that's the difference for me is just going in year 13 and making it with a team like this.
What do you remember about Andy down the stretch in 2012 when it was apparent that he wasn't coming back, and how he handled that, and ultimately how he handled talking to you guys that last time? When he was fired?
Coach Reed was always a real dude. He always handled his business. Really didn't have too much. He really didn't talk as much as far as team meetings, 5 minutes and we in and out. And then that's the difference from him and Nick. Like Nick being here about 20 to 30 minutes, and then Coach Reed, it was just like 5 minutes and you're done. You on the order of business is this. All right, go ahead and start your day. And I think it was always cool, and then for me, him drafting me, man, I'm always indebted to him because of him taking a chance on me in this organization when he was here. But yeah, man, old school. Got a lot of coaches that was under him that have similar styles on how they run they programs, and man, I think he's just the OG of all the coaches.
Brandon, earlier today, Julian.
You know what? I felt that one this time. I've really felt that because, you could see he was ready to, let it go a little bit as far as crying. And, he had a hell of a career, man. You shouldn't have no regrets, even if this year didn't go as well as you wanted it to go, people gonna always remember you of all the things, all the great things you've done. They still trying to make sure that, you know, they have a better taste of what he didn't do this year and trying to, you know, talk about what he did in his past to make up for this year. So Brady shouldn't hang his head about anything, man. He a Michigan man. He definitely got opportunity afterwards with that big deal that he got. So, I mean, I don't feel sorry for him.
You'll forever be linked. I mean, if you asked him and he was honest what the worst play of his life was, you know, it's probably that play, that strip sack. What does that play mean to you in your life, your career, your license plate? You know,
It's definitely a life changer, man. It changed my life because can't nobody take that one away. Going against Brady in the Super Bowl, somebody who you know, is then put daggers in people's hearts in those drives, especially that last drive. And I was just, if anything, I'm happy because it was another Michigan guy. You know, something that I can always go back to Michigan. If I see Brady, we can always have a good conversation about that one. But, you know, I'm happy that, you know, I was able to do that in my career, especially how it went in the beginning, and to be able to make a play like that in a town that never had a championship, that we finally brought us one, and then it changed my trajectory of, you know, how people view me as a player, and, you know, it's just gotten better ever since.
How was your trash-talking game back then compared to now?
You know what? I cussed a little more back then than I did now. Because you know who used to tell me, Cullen Jenkins used to be like, man, why you always cussing, doing all this, man? They going to find you. I mean, they going to throw the flag on you. You know, you got to get creative. And, you know, he was real good. He was real slick at the mouth, too. He was a good trash talker, but he really didn't open up like how I do. Like, he would just say little stuff while you were around. But I think just hearing it from other guys, making sure that, you know, I got the cussing part out of it and just, you know, have some fun, man. It's just whatever kind of come to mind as I go out there.
Hey, Brandon, you're a leader on this team, and there was serious news about Josh Hills yesterday. Have you guys talked about that, and do you find that to be a distraction at this point in your preparations?
Nah, I think, you know, for the most part, that probably was a situation that the Eagles already kind of knew about. I mean, I don't really discuss, you know, stuff that goes on because I don't know nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? I just know that Josh is a cool guy. You know, I talk to him all the time when he's in here. You know, I'm behind him 100% on, you know, whatever it is because I don't know the whole story. I just know I want to support him. You know, I hate that it's you know, allegations, and I hate the whole situation for both parties because, you know, I'm sure it's been a storm since then for him and the female that's involved. And so I hope that, you know, they get down to the bottom of everything. And, you know, I don't see it as a distraction. I just see it as something that he has to handle. And, you know, just know that his teammates behind him.
Brandon, back to Nick for a second. Julian Love from the Giants today said, he was talking about how what's a veteran team.
I heard it talking about Nick.
Yeah, what's your response to that? And in terms of, like, you know, how do you counter that in terms of what he has meant to this team?
You know what, man? You know, people always got something to say when they at home. So they got some stuff to think about. So I ain't really going to touch too much on it. I just know that Coach Sirianni is, it don't matter. What he did last year with a team that, you know, nobody thought was going to do much, you know, he ended up getting us to the playoffs. And then for his second year, I mean, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to get better. You're supposed to bring players in to get to do exactly what you need them to do. And we did that. I mean, he said anybody can coach this team. It's like, man, it don't matter because at the end of the day, it's on your GM and your president and people to be able to bring guys in and sign guys and have people want to come to this organization. So, I mean, man, it's a whole bunch of different factors other than just him talking about Coach Sirianni. It's just, you know, a lot of people just mad because of what happened this season. I understand. But, yeah, I mean, it definitely carried no weight because, I mean, Coach proved himself each and every day. And if you're not in here, you really wouldn't know that. So it's just all lip service.
And Nick has talked about shared with younger players about your previous Super Bowl experience, not just the game itself, but the distractions and festivities leading up to it next week.
Well, you know what? I told them guys, just make sure you have fun, you know, when it's time to have it. But when we in between those lines and we in those meetings, let's make it about what we do well and how we can carry out this game plan. Because in that game, we didn't come all this way to get embarrassed. We didn't come all this way to you know, start, you know, playing around now, keep it consistent. That's what we've been doing, keeping it consistent, knowing how to turn it on, turn it off. Because you are going to have a bunch of family in town. You're going to have people all around, and, it's going to be so many different things going on. But I'm not saying you can't indulge in it and have fun with it, but just make sure you're responsible, because that's what it's about. It's about you taking care of your business when it's time, and, you can definitely play hard, too, if you can handle that.
Your whole family be there?
There was a point towards the end of the game on Sunday, when the starting offense was able to get off the field, and you and Fletch were hugging Jalen before the clock hit zero. What was that moment like, and what was your message to Jalen?
Just proud of him because of all the doubters this year of what Jalen's going to do. I don't know how many times I got that from fans and even some media people are like, man, I don't know. The X factor is Jalen. We don't know what Jalen going to do. I mean, I've seen him this offseason work. I'm just happy that it paid off for him because, that's the stuff y'all don't see. Y'all don't see that every day sometimes. And, you see some bad days at practice and then people judge off that because that's the first thing they saw. Because I remember him throwing a couple of picks or something in practice. Something happened. And, it was just like, man, we're here to get better in training camp. So I'm excited. I was just more telling him, like, man, I just appreciate him because of, all the things that he had to overcome this year. And you didn't see him get rattled not one time. And, man, I'm going to fight for a guy like that every time, somebody that just keep their nose clean, keep their head down, and get to work.
Brandon, Nick has referenced having the 4 veteran guys who have been through the Super Bowl before sort of helped, get back up very quickly. What kind of role do you think the 4 of you have played in pushing this team forward?
Just showing them how to practice because, that kind of goes unsaid a lot, just on knowing how to practice. You got to make sure that you bring it every day. And some days that we don't have it, you got to make sure that you can talk about it and tell people, hey, man, I need you. I know you ain't start so good today. Well, come on, I need you to finish the practice the right way because we know what shows up in practice shows up in the game, good or bad. And so I think it's more of how we carry ourselves every day, our regimen, because us older guys have to get warmed up, which I got to do in a little bit of just getting in your regimen of like I get in the steam room, the sauna, like, get my body loose a little bit before I go out. And if you can create those habits at a young age, it's going to carry you, later on in your career. That's what Trent Cole used to do a lot of, and that's who I kind of idolized during that time when he was here. And so I kind of do this. I do the same thing, if not more, because of my age. And I think a lot of guys respect that, and they've adopted that, and they've been in there with me, doing stuff that I do just to kind of let them know that they hear me.
You had extended last time at the Super Bowl. That first experience you had going through it, did you learn anything that you pass on to your team?
You know what? I ain't talked about that. I get what you're saying. It is a little longer than just stay doing stuff during halftime stretch, warm up one more time, just to kind of get that flow back, and just enjoy that moment too.